Hi friends, in our time together today, I'm sharing one of my practice sessions of that beautiful slide, Going to the Well for Water, also called the Kaiser slide, and a number of other names. I introduced this tune just yesterday. And I normally wait a few days before a practice session, but I realized that when I introduced the tune yesterday, I really didn't spend, I spent a little bit of time talking about ornamentation and expression, but I didn't spend much time. So I thought, time to do that tomorrow. And, you know, I say when I'm doing a practice session that I'm somewhere between I'm getting started and I'm feeling really, really comfortable. Well, today I'm leaning more toward I'm trying to figure this out. And sometimes I think that's really helpful too. So this was not an intentional oopsie, but it works out. See, my goal in sharing a practice session with you is not to tell you how to play it. I never want to do that. I want to share with you different things I'm thinking from what I've heard about how some people are playing this lovely tune. And because you need options. And that's one of the reasons why I recommend that we listen to a number of different people as we're learning a tune. Because you want to get a sense, not to mirror me, not to mirror somebody else. You want to get a sense for the tune so that you can craft your version of the tune. So I'll put a link at the top of the notes to this video to the page of my website from which you could download the music and tabs for this tune if you've not done so yet. I'll also put a link here at the top to the original walkthrough because I think it's so important for us to do that if you've not been through the walkthrough yet. That's really helpful. I'll put a link to the walkthrough, that original video, also at the end of this video. And for my practice session today, I'm using the Burke Brass Viper D, Low D, and the Tony Dixon DX005. That is a polymer body with a metal tuning slide. It creates a slightly different tone off of, as compared to some of the other less expensive Tony Dixons, but this pushes it up in around the $50, just under $50 range because of the metal tuning slide. Now I do want to think about the pace of the tune. The tune, Going to the Well for Water, I've seen played, it's almost like two groups. There are outliers. There's one group that plays it between 120 and 126 beats per minute, and a group that plays it between 134 and 136 beats per minute. Remember, I'm still wrapping my brain around this. Let me share those paces with you. Got my little iPad here. So let's see what I say. I said 120 and 126. Let's dial it back to 120. And I'll set my iPad over here with the clicks going. This is 120. Okay? And that sounds really easy until you get to that phrase. So 126. Let me share that. Whoops, with you. Whoa. So not too bad. Now let's go to the upper end. I'm going to go to 136. Yeah, oh, there we go. 4, 5, 6. So we'll see what this does. I'm a little clumsy with that. Now, there are some people that say that you should play a slide up at around 150 beats per minute. I get that. I accept it. But I haven't heard many people play this slide at that pace. I've heard some outliers of people playing it a lot more slowly. So let's jump in. That's enough preambling, but it is important to get a sense of the pace. I'm going to share what I'm thinking from what I feel and from what I've heard. I want us to remember that this is a dance tune. It's a slide, so it's long, short triplet pairings. That's a traditional long, short triplet, and so you get that, and you want to. It's a dance that has a lightness to it, and so the bouncy bits, you don't want to mask them too much. And so I've heard a lot of people playing all the bouncy bits just very straight. But I do like a little bit of variation. Again, ornamentation and expression are personalizations of a tune. Now, down in the second half, you're going to get to the whoops. And I've heard a lot of people doing that with like a light to sharp tonguing just to differentiate. So you're getting the ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. It feels light. But some people are doing it differently. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning. I wanted those as kind of a caveat as to what I'm thinking. So you can, I often talk about how to start a tune. It's important to think about how you're starting a tune because that first step into a tune sets the mood. So do you just want to be there, or do you want to do like just a quick cut into it? I haven't heard a lot of people do a roll into it. I've heard people do a slide into it. So that you're like, it's almost as though like you're getting out of a chair was the feeling. Whatever you do, don't overdo it. So for me, I love the idea of the slide, maybe at some point in one of the bounces. I'm personally thinking bounciness. That was bad. And if you have trouble with that bit, remember, you need to teach your fingers how a phrase goes. And that's how you just get your fingers accustomed to the phrasing. Don't always try and play it as fast as you can. Dial it back and play it as you can, and then pick up the pace. So, as I get into that, I put a light slide on the third F sharp, and then some double ornamentation coming out of that. I forget what I did. And there, it's still early in my process, remember? I'm trying to mix what I do the first time through to the second time through, and I want my differences to be subtle there. And I'm almost thinking it would be interesting to do one bouncy, What I was going to say was do one less complicated and then add more slides in on the second time. Don't put any in on the first time. I'll have to see how that goes. And then you're transitioning to the B part. And that's where I enjoy a slide because you've got these triplets. There are 1, 2, 3, there are 4 long short triplet pairs. You could just go. But that doesn't sound as dancey, does it? Mix it up and add some variation and add some fun. So, and that's my early in my practice process. That's my attempt to stepping into doing something different. So there wasn't a lot of variation there, but there was some. And then when you get to that next bit, a lot of folks, like I said, are simply doing variations of tonguing on it. I'm feeling like I want that light. And so you're going to have to learn to be quick there, but I want to do something with one of those sets. Maybe the last one. No, I think it will be the third one for me because of the variation it causes. And then you can do that. You could just bounce that octave from the E to the E, or that's a good chance to slide. All right, that's sort of what I'm thinking. You know how this goes. You practice, right? And I think this is, as I move into and with the Dixon, I'm just going to try a couple of things. This is earlier in my practice, so I'm very much in experiment mode. And I think this is a good opportunity to make this point. When you are ornamenting and expressing, excuse me, you are experimenting. You are trying to figure out, how does this ornament impact the flow of the tune? How does it sound? How does this combination of ornaments over this phrase work? Does it highlight the phrase? Does it mask the phrase? Am I enhancing the rhythm and the flow of the tune, or am I drawing it back? Am I enlivening it, making it more emotional, or is it just a little boring? You're thinking all those things as you're attempting to ornament and express. My thinking goes way beyond my skills in playing. But I want to say this so that you have the chance to hear it as well, because this is so important. So let me try and stitch some of this together. Go on the Dixon, and since it's early in my process, I'm unlikely to make it all the way through the tune. A little better than I expected, but still funny. You may have noticed me trying to bounce my shoulders a bit because I want that feel. So if you're going to ornament, it needs to not distract from that feel. Yeah, see, and I'm thinking the slide works if you're really quick or if you're dialing the pace back a bit, because that bouncy bit needs to stay bouncy, and the same in the B part. And that's why people are tonguing that. You tongue the first note, and then you just go and so you're not tonguing the middle note, so that your tongue's not going or and then just that little variation on that third. And you can do something like that. And you could even add that in more, so that you're actually causing you're enhancing the bounce. That's what you want to do with those. If you add ornamentation in on those bounces, enhance them. And when you're getting to the so at some point, you're going to want to ornament in that bit. And then I'm thinking there a cut on that A. And then I like the slide there. A crayon going on that D before you walk back down into the repeats. And again, something like that on that long short the 4 long short triplets walking into the B part. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm feeling better than I thought I'd be feeling, but I still have a lot of work to do. But I'm really happy with where I am. I want you to be happy with where you are, but I really want you to think about what I'm thinking. I want you to think for yourself. I want you to think about it. Think this is a dance tune. It's bouncy. It flows. It's got this combo of bouncing and flowing. So your ornamentation should not be the same in those different sections. You need to mix it up. Work on it, my friends. If this is helpful, please like the video. If you're brand new and just checking us out because we're walking through going to the well for water, please subscribe. We've got this great community of folks learning to play the whistle together. Until next time, my friends, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling.